Welcome, 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 everybody. We are going to Zolder Raceway tonight in the Radical SR8, brought to you by DSL Welding, our major sponsors, and SRW TV. I'm here tonight with our producer, Nathan Shibby, and Stefan McCartan. Say hello, boys.
Evening all.
How is everybody tonight? I hope everybody is well. Before we get on to proceedings, I would like to do a big, massive shout out and send all our heartfelt wishes and all our love and good vibes to everybody in Queensland in the floods at the moment. All our members in all our races within SRW TV. We send out all our love and all our best wishes and hope you're all safe. And yeah, we know it's pretty full on up there, and anything we can do to help, we're always here. So yeah, just sending out our love and good vibes from SRW TV. Cool. So tonight we're in the SR8, Radicals SR8s. As I've said before in previous races, these are pretty crazy nuts cars. So these are 1300 cc Hayabusa engines, essentially welded together or mashed together, custom crankshafts, all of it to work together, so that it ends up becoming a 2.6 litre V8 engine, which is absolutely insane. These things, curb weight with driver in, full liquids, everything else like that, full fuel, under 800 kilograms. So it's absolutely insane, these things. They've just only got the front splitter and the rear wing. It's double adjustable rear wing. So they do get a little bit more downforce on there, but you will see these things lock up a lot into corners. A lot like you will see in the V8s as well. But these things are a lot of fun to race, and Stefan has had lots of experience in these, and he loves these cars. And Nathan's been doing some hot laps around here on the controller, even on the Xbox controller. So very impressive from him as well.
Yeah, these are definitely good fun cars. They're probably one of the more rewarding cars. Like, you got to drive them hard to create that downforce, but also if you go over that edge, you will just spin or lock up or go off the track essentially. So it's definitely a rewarding car, but it's going to be interesting to see tonight with all these tight chicanes. Obviously, this car doesn't really like curbs as such, so it's going to probably prone these cars to a little bit of floor damage if you miss the chicane as to where Tom's going through now. So definitely going to be an interesting 40-minute race to see how these guys go.
That's very true. That's one thing I didn't actually take into consideration. Floor damage, yeah, how low these things are and how much they actually rely on that amount of downforce, because they are so light. That amount of floor damage could really throw the cat amongst the pigeons there. Oh,
yeah. So they've especially they do have that one fast repair that they can take during their compulsory pit stop, but it's sort of like you don't really want to use that if you can avoid it, just because 40-minute racing, anything can happen. A track like this is definitely more prone to safety cars than our last round out at Hockenheimring. A bit tighter, 20-odd cars around Zolder can definitely cause a few incidents. I think it's going to be an action-packed night. They put it on at Hockenheim all through the field last fortnight, so hopefully they can do it again and provide everyone with some good shows.
Yeah, this is going to be amazing. This is probably these are my favourite cars, actually, to watch and to drive, actually, because I'm not new to sim racing, and I'm quite new to iRacing, so I find these ones, and a big shout out to everybody that's new to iRacing and new to the SRW TV team and watching the channel and things like that. If you want to get into these, they're a really good way to learn. Good way to learn the tracks. Good way to learn, the limits of a car and things like that, because they're very forgiving in some ways, but very unforgiving in some ways as well. Thanks, Stefan.
Oh, for sure. These guys that you'll see up the front, definitely a lot of skill, a lot of talent involved to get these things around. It's definitely going to also be one of those sort of races, I think, where if you can keep your nose clean and avoid all that sort of carnage and stuff, you might see a few of those people that are normally around that back 10 sort of area suddenly pop up to, you know, second or third and possibly snatch podiums away from these faster guys. So I think regardless, we're going to be in for a good night's racing, as we've got about 15 minutes in quali, and these guys are just setting the bank collapse now with Alex caught up with his first full-line lap there at P1. So yeah, see what these guys can do in quali as well. I think these guys will be into the mid-22s, low 22s on their fast laps. See how fast they can go.
Especially like seeing that these guys' tyres have only just come up to temp, and Alex Court's almost breaking that 123 barrier. So I think you're very, very right. We're going to see some. Do you think we'll see some even very low 22s, if not possible some very low 21s?
Oh, it's definitely doable. Although it's still a small track, you know, there's a few little straights where you can pick up the draft, and if you get a nice driver in front of you, essentially it might let you go into the braking zone and stuff. Those 21s can definitely be doable. Just you essentially got to have that perfect lap in there and hope for no traffic almost to get that done. You see, we've already got a few cars there with some nose damage and stuff from curbs. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting race because they're going to have to avoid the curbs, but also to be fast, you have to use the curbs. So I think a lot of people are going to get caught out by that tonight.
Yes, definitely. And there's a very fine line on Zolder between being completely over the track limit and just being right on the edge. And unfortunately, or fortunately, on Zolder, you have to push it right on the edge to be on the proper race line. So we might even see a few track limits being trying not to be abused, but being flagrant with their use of the track limits a little bit. So people will have to watch out for that as well.
Yeah, for sure. One of those, I think it's turn 5 chicane. That's probably one of the easiest areas to cut. Essentially, you go that little bit deep, you have to go over the curb, or else you'll just spin off the curbs, and which causes slowdowns and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks that rewards a good lap where you push every centimetre out of these cars, but also if you push over that line, that punishes you very hard.
Nathan Burney there with a little bit of damage there on the front there, but it seems like he's just had a bit of a scrape there somewhere. He's in 6th position at the moment in qualifying at the moment here, guys, with Locked On Racing. He's had some really good races in the past couple of weeks. So from the start of the beginning of the season, actually, he's one to watch. He's if he has some good luck and he's patient, he's normally done very well to carve through the pack there. If not, qualify at the pointy end.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky last time out at Hockenheim. He had a decent qualifying there, and I think he was running about P4 at one stage until he had a bit of an accident and fell down to, I think it was about 12th. And yeah, it was a bit unfortunate round for Hockenheim for him, so I think he's going to be out for a vengeance essentially to get that result back, as we see Scotty there just make a mistake into the last chicane, which is very easy to do and lock that front left right up going to as it's unweighted. So yeah, I think a few of these guys from last round didn't quite get the result that they should have or would have wanted, so they'll definitely be out to try and amend that from last time out.
Yeah, scores will be out, you think? Or do you think it'll make just everybody a little bit more patient and let things happen and unfold around them? And
I would like to think so, but these guys are racers, so a few of them will take the cautionary approach, I suppose, but a lot of them at the end of the day, they're here to race, they're here to win. They'll try and find gaps and avoid crashes by accelerating through and trying to dodge them with the speed. As I say, the more speed you have in these cars, the more downforce you've got. So it's almost sometimes better to try and go faster to be able to turn sharper in these than it is to slam on the brakes and hope for the best.
Oh yes, you never want to go full brakes. You never want to go full brakes in this one. In these, yeah, never ever go full brakes. Just on a side note there, by the way, Stefan, we've just had Alex Court break the 123 mark. So these guys are heating up. Their tyres are starting to heat up. They're starting to get used to it. We're coming into the last 10 minutes of qualifying here now, guys. So we've got Alex Court We got Tom Caldy in second. We've got Dave Unger in third, Robbie Griffiths in fourth, and Nathan Verney in fifth at the moment, guys. And that's wrapping out our top fifth. But Scotty Barton in practice was lapping some very fast times, so I think he might be one to watch in this last 10 minutes of qualifying.
Yeah, for sure. I think in practice he was in the low 23, so I'd definitely expect him to jump up into that top 3 sort of battle there. Probably not quite as quick as Alex around here, but he was definitely can get in that top 3, I reckon, and back Alex up as possibly on for a sort of a 1-2 for after dark sim racing there. Potentially if he can get his lap time in. So I think that's probably going to be the strongest team pairing we've got tonight, would be Alex and Scott. But as you saw last round out with Tom and Alex having a nail-biter of a race for the whole 40 minutes. So anything can happen, and this track is also very difficult to pass it. So, you know, qualifying up the front is key, and using that strategy as well with the pit stop and potential safety cars to try and leapfrog people is, I think, what those sort of 5th to 10th is going to have to do to try and stay in contention for this race.
So do you think everybody will just be going from the beginning, just full tank, and then in the pit stop just go straight up tires, or they're going to have to change? They're going to be forced to change tires and fuel because of the conditions.
I think they'll probably have to take a little bit of fuel, just the full
splash and dash.
Yeah, it never harms to, especially because in these cars here they take fuel and tires at the same time. So it's and I think in the time frame you can do, you know, your 4-tyre compulsory pit stop that these guys have to do in the race. You can put in 5 to 10 litres worth of fuel. So that's what I would be doing, is underfill fueling the car.
Always err on the side of caution, at least. Leave yourself.
Yeah, at least your car then is a little bit quicker at the start of the race. If you don't have the pace of these outright front guys, you might be able to defend the position a little bit higher than where some people might
carve your way through the pack, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you're further back, you start with extra low fuel and sort of bank on a safety car to get that time back, that your extra time that you'd spend in the pit lane. So, so many different strategy options here for this race in these cars. So it's going to be interesting to see who does what. But looks like Alex has got a pretty comfortable gap at the moment out at front by about 0.4 of a second there. So hopefully a couple of these other guys can challenge him in the last minute, as I think 8 minutes, as I think they'll just be starting to get that last run going, getting their tyre temp up and going for that last sort of 5-minute happy hour.
Just as we said, a commentator's just gotten a bit sideways there. I was just about to say, Alice Court has got some serious pace through that corner, and obviously a little bit too much pace.
Yeah, that's just that limit that we've been talking about so much, as you go that little bit quick, especially on slightly colder tyres. I'm pretty sure that was his first flying lap after coming out of the pit lane. It's very easy to do what he's done there and just lose the rear, and away around she goes.
Yeah, most definitely. It's so much. They're very. You think they're touchy when they got warm tyres, when they got cold tyres. Forget about it, eh?
Yeah, for sure. It's very much like the F3 cars. The F3 cars, when they got warm tyres, are great fun. When they got cold tyres, are the worst thing in iRacing to drive. So it's always challenging on cold tyres, which will make the race start very interesting as well for those first few laps with heavy fuel on board as well.
And I'll just pull up my Zolder map. I'm going to attempt to pronounce a few of the corner names, guys, but guys, they are very, very crazy hard. There's the what's it, second last corner that's it's got more letters in the name of the corner than I've ever seen in a word before, I think.
Yeah, I'll leave those names up to you there. I'm just going to go turn 1 through to 14.
Yeah, that'll be easier.
I'll give it over to you if you want to take a commentator lap of Alex here for us.
Okay, just give me 2 seconds. Let's have a go at this. Okay. All attempted anyway. Let's see if we can actually get it this time. I'm not sure what my screen is doing here. Sorry, apologies. Just take over for a second.
It looks like Alex has put a pretty good start here to this thing. He's nailed that chicane. He's got a good exit, so we'll see what sort of... Although he does already have that few tenths per second up his sleeve. Tom is a very fast, consistent driver here, so I think he's going to be pushing mad. Nice line, taking as much as he dares through that chicane there. Coming up to this final hairpin, which is also quite a tricky braking zone. You want to brake just after the 100-meter mark. Heavy brakes with trying to avoid any locking into it. Down into second gear, hard accelerating out of that, which is can set up a nice overtaking pass into this last chicane if you get a better exit. You want to avoid the inside, taking too much inside curb here, so we'll just throw you out and cut that one. I personally short shift up to third there a little bit, run to the line. Is he going to better his lap time, or is he going to stay at a 22? Does a 23.7, so that's obviously his first flying lap there, so I think he's going to get some more pace as he runs a little bit wide into turn 1 there.
Apologies, guys. And that was very awesome. Yeah, that as you were saying, is that little quick shift down into third or second, as you were saying, through there is a beautiful little bit of downshift rotation, and these cars really benefit from them because they kind of naturally have a lot of understeer. Would you agree, Stefan? So you kind of have to use that a little bit of downshift rotation and that real trail braking to get into the corner?
Especially in the low speed corners. In the higher speed corners, they're pretty planted. So yeah, in the lower, especially like the chicanes, you sort of want to, as you turn in, change down to second and then accelerate through the chicane. Is the best way I found to do it. Sort of through my few laps, I just tried and practice here. So, but everyone obviously drives the cars differently.
So here we go, guys. We've got Steven Sinkovich here, guys. I do have my track map up here. We do, maybe we just don't go through it, and I'll actually try to attempt to say these corner names. So turn 1 is Erst. That's pretty easy. So turn 2 is Steren Wartbock, and then Kannelbock, and then Lucien. We'll just call Lucien turn 4. And the easy one is that first chicane that we come through. That's a Klein chicane, so that's turn 5 essentially. Is that first chicane that we come through, and then that sweeping as we come round through the hill, and that shift change around that bend as we come down to through that bend is called Butte, and then we come down to Lammenbock is the second chicane there, which is considered the sector 7, I suppose you call it. And then turn 8, I'm not even going to attempt. And then we've got turn 9 is Jochen, and we've got Jackie Ickbock for turn 10 for the final little chicane there. So we'll just call that, the final chicane is Jackie. The first chicane is Klein. And I think we'll just... Sector 7 for the second chicane. That'll be the best way to say it for tonight.
Hey, we can roll with that. We got 1 minute left here in quali. It doesn't look like anyone else is challenging Alex here. As Alex has just got another 10th quicker into a 22.7. Gives him 5 tenths over Tom, and there's Scotty's lap time, 23.5, drops up into P3. Looks like Alex might have the pace of everyone here so far. And the quali trim anyway. So race fuel, because these makes these cars completely different animals to drive.
And as we said earlier about Scotty Barton, he was one to watch. So he's up into that third position, as you mentioned before. Like he was in 6th before, so he's knocked Nathan Verney out of the top 5 there with that beautiful lap. With that beautiful 123.5, 123.5, I suppose. Dave Unger behind him. He's got a lot of really. He's got some pretty serious qualifying pace, but he's actually got some really good race pace as well. So he'll be definitely one to watch. And Dean Sinkovich as well. Love to see he's on board as well. Dean Sinkovich with a brilliant run in his radicals. He's been doing very well lately, right? he's gotten top 10 in the last couple of different cars and in different races, so in different rounds. So he's done really well.
Yeah, for sure. And David had a bit of an unlucky round last time out at Hockenheim as well, getting caught up in a. I suppose you talk about Dean, but it's Stephen who's just hit the wall there. Yeah, going back to David, he's a bit unfortunate getting tagged into T2 at Hockenheim and put him all the way to the rear of the field. Still came back for, I believe it was a P3 finish, but you know, it's sort of what if, could have, if he hadn't had that accident, whether he would have been battling for the win with Alex and Tom up there. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good race. Yeah, definitely it's going to be a good race. Qualifying, obviously, you got 4 tenths here, sorry, between Alex and Tom. David has just pipped Scotty back for P3 there. But you know,
look at that.
You've got 5, we'll call it 6 cars, 7 cars, sort of within a second of each other at a track like this is quite impressive for those guys. So, in race, you know, we're all following each other. I think they're going to be pretty tight first half of the race until those pit strategies and pit stops play out, and then we get to see what everyone's strategy is for the race. But I'll let you run through the grid here.
Oh, thank you very much. So, guys, I'll run through our top 6 because our top 6 guys, our top 6 are all under 124 seconds, guys. This is insane. So, Alex Court in first. We've got Tom Kildy and Cowrie. I apologise if I get the name wrong. I'll just call you Tom from now on. So Tom in second, Dave Unger in third, Scotty Barton in fourth. We've got Robbie Griffiths in fifth, and Nathan Verney in sixth. So those all guys are all under 1 minute 24 seconds around Zolder, which is insanely fast. So then we got Dean Sinkovich with a great lap. Greg Leake in eighth. We got Greg Johnston, Nick Martin, Andrew Cowan, Stephen Sinkovich, Leon Williams, Stefan McCartan, and Callan Hodgkinson. Stefan McCartan Callan Hodgkinson in 15th, and Stefan McCartan.
Yeah, don't worry about my lad, Tom. That's just for practice.
Don't worry about him.
And same with Scott Rankin there. He's our race controller for the evening.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah.
And in voice too. So. I was getting a bit confused, but then I rolled with the
I'll let you take it here from the start, Toddy.
Oh, here we go, guys. SR8 Radicals with SRW TV, brought to you by DSL Welding Services and Dragon RC. Let's go. Race start. Gentlemen, start your engines. Don't get them sideways, please, guys. Just remember for your first lap, cold tires. Take it easy. Turn 1, take it easy. Cold tires, boys. Cold tires. Remember, cold tires. Because every time we don't mention it, something goes wrong for turn 1. Here we go. We got 3, 4, 5 reds. Let's go on greens. Let's go. Go. Beautiful start from the top 3 here. Dave Unger seems... Oh, no. We've got 2 tangle at the back there. Bit of a tangle in the back. I'm not sure who that's been there, but that's there's a Leon Williams and Nick Martin there at the back there. I'm not sure. Seems like one of them's gotten a bit sideways off the start there on cold tires and just gotten sideways into the other guy. So I'm not sure who's to blame, but it's not our place to say. So we'll just jump back in this top battle here, guys. These guys absolutely beautiful. The beautiful start from this front of the pack. We've only had 2 at the back. There were casualties at the back there at the start, so seems like a really good first lap. Everyone's realising they're still on cold tyres, so please everybody remember that. We've got Alex Court in first, Tom Cowdy in second, Dave Unger in third, Robbie Griffiths in fourth, and Scotty Barton in fifth now.
Dave Unger down. A little bit of a bad start there and just sort of spun the wheels and lost the position to Robbie, but he's right on the back of this train here, and any moment can make a pass and get back that position. He's lost off the start.
Oh, unfortunate, but he's kept on to it, hasn't he? So he's kept on to the back of these guys, but it's definitely let Robbie Griffiths get onto the back of him. So, and I'm not sure if you really want Robbie Griffiths hunting you down.
Yeah, he's a pretty good hunter there, Robbie. Looks like Callan Hodgkinson has also had some difficulties on the first lap, along with that incident we saw there in the background at the start with Leon and Nick, and now Leon is in the pit lane. I'd say he'll be taking his fast repair and trying to come back out. Unfortunately, we have to probably make another pit stop for fuel, but yes. Okay, so it looks like Kellel actually may not have taken the start and has chosen to start from the pit lane here. Interesting decision, but it's a good way to keep safe and obviously out of that sort of incident that we saw there. So smart play, but it's these top 5 are really going at it here, all in a line. You know, what, 2 seconds covering 5 cars at a track like this is nuts.
Yeah. Especially through these chicanes and stuff like that. I think once these guys get some temperature in their tyres, we'll see some mean battles through these chicanes. And through these big swooping corners coming into them. And this shift change, after that first chicane coming into that second chicane, the whole... It's unlike any track, I think, that sort of weight shift change as you come around, because it kind of comes in over the hill after the first chicane, but you're kind of already trying to get over the fact that you've had to launch almost half your car over the first chicane. You're coming over there and it's a full weight change of your whole car, and if you're not right on it, you're going to end up one side of that corner and not on tarmac.
Yeah, exactly, and even that big the swooping left hand you're talking about over the hill as well. You know, your car's going light, and as it compresses down after the hill, you're almost straight back on the brakes again for the other chicane, where you've got to keep the speed up. So it's definitely a track that's hard on your suspension, but I think
very easy to lock up as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many times your front left or front right's underweight. Oh, as we've
just seen, as we were just talking about, the commentator.
Yeah. Looks like David Angus has made a little mistake there, and he's dropped back to P5 now, and now Scotty's also got to pass Robbie in this lap as well, so he's back up into, he's actually gained a position now up to P3, a couple of seconds behind the leaders now. Does have a bit of front end damage there though, so I think he might have already been attacking those curbs just a little bit too much. These top 2 are going in it again, same as Hockenheim. Alex and Tom putting on a show for everyone. Separated by 2 tenths going over the line. I think these guys are going to be locked line to stern for the whole race here until someone makes an unforced error.
I tell you what, these 2 have got these things on lockdown, don't they?
Yeah, so looks like we might go back and have a look at this incident from the start for you guys for a DSL action replay. Let's have a look at the back. You want to keep an eye on the background here. I believe it's a red car, about P12, that you want to keep an eye out for.
It's Nick Martin in the red car.
We'll just slowed it down. So he's just
pretty
lost
sure by memory it was Nick
there.
Martin in the red car for...
No, he's just lost traction.
Oh.
Cold tyres, and unfortunately
yeah.
Leon there's just a innocent
He tried to catch it as well. You can see he tried to catch it.
Yeah, just very easy to do in these cars, especially on, you know, from a standing start. You hit that power band of these at about 3,000-4,000 rev, and the wheels will just light up.
We start saying cold tyres, guys, cold tyres, only half your rev band, please, half your rev band. That's how I always kind of just hover about that sort of half your rev range, and then most cars you can kind of get off the line, and then I just always work from there. I don't know about you, but that's how
I'm lucky enough that I've got a dual clutch system on my wheel, so I can sort of use that to walk it away. But for those that got the standard clutch pedal, it's a lot harder to slip it, especially in a car like this. But you sort of got to walk it away like it's on, like it's raining. Robbie's got a bit of rear wing damage there as well. I just seen that.
Oh yeah, he's had a big shunt on the wall. It looks like he's had a bit of a shunt in the on the left-hand side by the look of that, and it's just munted up the right-hand side of his car there too.
I think he's just going to lose it like we saw Alex doing Wally there.
Oh, it was his left-hand side, but it's kind of hit the left-hand. Oh, that was... Oh.
Yeah, he did the exact same thing at Hockenheim as well and backed it into the stadium section and ran the whole race with a bent rear wing. So at least, if anything, he'll be sort of used to that and what the car can do, but it's definitely not something you want to do this early on in a 40-minute race, not even a quarter of the way through it.
Oh, and you could see that it's so unfortunate as well because he almost had it, he almost caught it, and that's why he's kind of spun around and just tapped it. He bent that rear wing and all the rest of it. He was still going enough speed to really mutt the back of that car a lot, but yeah, you could see, especially Hockenheim ring as well. It was very, very similar. He kind of made a touch of a little mistake, but he had a bit too much grass, so it's just spun him around. And he's kind of almost caught it just before he's hit the guardrail, but it hasn't quite.
Yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate things. If you had held your brakes, that split second earlier, it probably would have pulled up, but you always try and save it. You always try and get it back going the right way so you lose as minimal time as you can, but sometimes it hurts to do that. So a bit unfortunate, but he's got a long race yet. He's still got his pit stop with his fast repair, so he'll probably take that, at his pit stop and come out with a fresh rear wing and fresh car, and he'll drive on back through the pack. But it looks like Nathan Burney's actually got a bit of pace at the moment. He was right up behind David just before. He has backed off a bit now, but David's catching Scott here as well. So I think we got a good couple of battle packs here with Alex and Tom up the front, just pulling away from these guys just a few tenths a lap, but it all adds up over 30 odd laps of a race. And then Scotty and David are having a good battle for P3 here as well.
A little bit of these guys at Cowie at the back, Cowie at the back and 8. He's making his way up through the pack here. He's been doing very, very well. It seems Dean Sinkovich has slipped back from 7th here. I'm not sure what's happening there. We've also got some damage on the back of Cowie there with his rear wing.
Yes, the same thing as Robbie there. Just decided to give himself a bit more drag down the straights.
Yeah, carbon fiber's not supposed to look like that.
He is all over the back of Greg here though, so if he can stay with Greg, I reckon he's got the pace to pass him. He's just got to try and set it up, which is not an easy thing to do around the straight in the slightest way.
And I think, fortunately, a few people seem like, even in the back of Tom there, he's got a bit of benderizing on the back of his rear bumper there, but not to his rear wing or anything else like that. He's got some serious pace, so it's obviously not slowing him down much, but obviously that's just because it's not rear wing, it's just bumper. So these rear wings, as soon as you start to break a rear wing, that's literally all you've got is that rear wing and a front splitter on the front of it, and it weighs nothing. So
yeah, definitely makes it harder to drive with that rear wing damage. I think most of this, he also got a little bit of damage there to the front of Scott Bartram's car, so I wouldn't be surprised if in the first few laps, just that whole Constantina effect of being all line astern, that there's just been some nose to tail contact there, which has bent his sort of rear differential area of the car. He's putting so much pressure on Greg.
Now he's putting so much pressure on right here, eh?
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
What do you mean my wing's broken? Get out of my way, bro. Like what? Craziness.
So it looks like Robbie's, unfortunately that rear wing might have caused Robbie to have another crash here. So we've got a DSL action replay coming up into the last corner here. We'll have a look right on.
It does look much worse than Cowie's rear wing, doesn't it? To be honest.
Oh, there's a crash coming into the pits. He's just taking looks like he's just taking an early pit stop, and now technology is just playing up a little bit there, but Cowie's all over the back of Greg here. He's going to be setting him up for a run down into this hairpin. If he get a good run, make it pass.
Very impressive drive.
force Greg a little bit
I
wide
can't
there.
believe how much pressure he's putting on when he's got such a broken rear wing. It's impressive.
The toe of Greg will be helping a little bit here, but it's still, he's driving the wheels off this thing considering how damaged that rear wing is and how much speed.
Yeah, he's got a bit of slipstream, but he's also got dirty air, and then dirty air with a broken wing. He's got, mate. I think Cowie's done a bit of drifting this time because he must be like, you know, when they're in the movies and the wheels just go side to side the whole time. That must be Cowie in his rig right now.
Yeah, I'd say so. These top two are again just putting on an epic show, same as Hockenheim. They're just starting again from where they left off. Really, roles are reversed this time, and Tom's chasing Alex, but the class of the field so far, so it's going to be interesting to see how much fuel Tom can save being behind Alex, and whether it'll make his jump him at the pit stop, but also whether he'll go that extra lap too if he's got it in the tank. After Alex will pit at the stall. Alex is in, as I speak of it.
He's
Alex
in.
taking the early pit stop.
I think it's really impressive from Alex as well. You can tell Alex isn't feeling the pressure, even though he's had him on his ass the whole time. You can tell with his driving style and all the rest, he doesn't seem like he's feeling the pressure. Hence the undercut on the pit and all the rest of it. So,
yeah, we've just seen Cowie just make that move into the hairpin there on Greg.
Oh.
And he just looks like he might have either readdressed that or he's just got a bit taily through the second half of that chicane there.
It actually seemed like he was about to lock up the fronts, and then he trail braked more, and just kind of let off the throttle more because he knew he was going off the side. Because I think he was taking it the same way he would normally take it, but obviously the wing without the slipstream, without him being still in the draft, that car's all over the place. So I think you're 100% right there, Stefan. With the slipstream, it's drivable. Without it, it's not.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. It's these guys are up into P4 and 5 now, though, given Alex and Robbie and Scotty Bartram there have pitted. Does look like Scotty's fallen back a long way though after this pit stop, so I wonder if he's just taking too much fuel by mistake. Being 50 seconds now behind Alex, which is almost a full lap in these cars. Looks like something definitely might have happened there as Tom's just set the fastest lap of the race. So he's definitely trying to go for the overcut here on Alex.
Go hard, son.
Andrew's,
look at that. What a lap.
Andrew's got the braking capacity there to outbrake Greg. Greg just gets a nice wide run every time. So I think this is going to be a long race-long battle here. Oh, as he makes it switchback. Nice move by Cowie.
Switchback. What a move. Come on, son. Get in. Look at that. Get in.
It's a very nice
just on the
move.
chat, on the side note as well, in that chat, we've got Harry. Harry Carey must be Tom's brother. So he's saying, "Go Tom, legend." Much love.
Nice slow.
Welcome and thank you very much for subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell. Subscribe. What a move! Sorry.
There's a nice switchback. Greg just it looked like pretty much a roles reverse of the previous lap where Andrew sort of lost it mid-corner, so Greg sort of did the same and just let off the throttle to keep it on track. And Andrew was able to make that nice crisscross there and get the drive away. And he looks like he's already pulled away 7/10 of a second from Greg. So if he's got the pace and he can keep it consistent, I think he's going to pull away from Greg and get Greg out of that slipstream, and then he'll be way down the track and hunting down Nathan Burney, who's about 20 seconds up the road from him.
What a drive so far from Cowie. That is insanity. Just brilliant. Sorry, my SDK has just decided to stop, so I don't have as much live timing as everybody at the moment, so I apologise.
He's up to he's just locked it.
He's just locked it up into the outside of the corner there.
So it looks like he's held the position from Greg there. He's definitely a little bit quicker than Greg, but with that little bit of damage, it's probably just making his normal braking points just a little bit different, and the car's handling that little bit different, which may not seem like it makes a big difference, but in these sort of cars will be off-putting a lot.
I think it's really interesting that Cowie hasn't hasn't pitted early to actually fix that rear wing as well.
Yeah,
Maybe just he knows he's on the money with being able to have a tow along and work
he's
together with.
I definitely would have thought, especially if we were in his shoes, I think we'd both go in as early as we could get to our fuel load would allow us to win because although it's not like a track like last time out at Hockenheim where the draft was so prominent, it still makes the car just drive different and yeah, as I say, it puts you off your normal racing line and braking lines, and the longer you do it, and when you get that rear wing fix, it doesn't feel natural. As we got in the pit lane as well.
Yeah, also, and you need to also, as while you're racing as well, if you're losing 3 or 4 tenths on what you normally would be able to consistently drive that lap at, then that adds up very, very quickly in a race that's 40 minutes long.
Oh, for sure.
All of a sudden, 3 laps down, you're a second and a half off the pace. You know? That's pretty quick, you know. That's
yeah. According to our overlays there as well, it looks like Alex Court's made 2 pit stops, which is very interesting. So it'll be interesting to see if we can see that. It looks like everyone's starting to come in now about that 18-minute mark as they're sort of approaching halfway through the race. So I think everyone's sort of going even on their tyres, and we just making it an even 50-50 split race down the middle.
Nathan Verney now up into a momentary first position. Just trying to find the word.
Yeah, it looks like we're just trying to keep an eye on where Andrew is coming out of the pit lane. He's come out right behind Alex Court by the look of this. Well, he's coming a few seconds behind Alex Court and in front of Scotty Bartrand, so that's a nice gain overall. So it does look like Alex has had some difficulties with pits, whether he might have been caught speeding and iRacing gave him a drive through there, which would be about right for his time frame, but we'll try and figure out what's happening there, guys, and we'll let you know throughout the race. That's a net gain on what was the leader as well, so looks like a good race.
Alex Court had no damage on his car either, did he? So it must have been something like that, unless he's
good save,
you know, we've got Greg Johnston getting a bit sideways there with Team Greg. He's just locked it up. These seem pretty good. Robbie Griffiths.
It's very easy to do in those cars that get sideways, especially it seems like turn 1s where it's unweighted. It's very easy just to sort of loop that the right rear around.
Even a GT3 car or a Formula car and stuff, sit down force around here is a very, very hard car to drive. They're very, very fun, but it's very, very hard to drive around here. We've had a lot of these European tracks that are quite flat, but very unsettling camber or negative camber coming through corners that really take you by surprise.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's really all, you know, had the full track, the Grand Prix style full track, just so for this round, which is great, and having the European tracks and stuff makes a massive difference. One thing I was going to mention to Stefan as well is you can actually drive these in real life down at Highlands Motorsport Park and down near Queenstown in New Zealand. So once the world stops losing its mind, everybody should come over and we should go and race some real radicals.
Yeah, I'm not sure when the world will stop losing its mind with this COVID stuff. But
I know, hey, but we can always look forward to things. Oh, Cowie getting a bit legless on the outside there. He's got some still pretty fresh tyres, eh?
Yeah, for sure. It's still first out lap of them, so it's first flying lap, of them. So they'll be stone cold. They'll take a few laps to get up here, but it looks like after Tom's pit stop in as well, Alex is about what are we, roughly 33 seconds behind. So, not sure how long I say a drive-through penalty was, but it's normally about 30
What a
seconds.
move of Nathan Verney. Sorry to cut you off. It was just.
So Robbie's got that rear wing fixed now as well with his fast repair there.
Definitely found his pace again. Oh, look at this. What a fish for a move. Oh, look at that. Because it looked like, the first camera angle looked like he didn't have it. And then just Robbie was just like, oh, no, I've got this, mate. I've got the pace now.
Oh, Nathan, what's he doing? He's locked it up and going into the pit lane. He's going to have to reverse. Oh, he needs to reverse.
No, it's fucking really late for that corner.
Oh, he's just punted his rear wing as well with that reversing.
Oh, these things are so prone for it. And as soon as a little bit of a tap, it's all just carbon fiber, guys. It's a fiberglass body, but carbon fiber rear wing and carbon fiber splitter. So, yeah, they say it's all really fast and everything, really strong and everything. But who knows? We've got Steven Zinkovic up into fourth here. What a drive from him now. He's making his way back through here. He is not pitted yet. So we'll see how he goes after his pit and what he slots back down to and what the true positionings back are. Back, guys. We've got
Yeah. So who have we got left to make a pit stop? It is just Steven here. And yeah, Alex has definitely been in the pit lane twice. So he's either severely underfueled his car or forgot to put fuel in, or definitely some sort of drive-through penalty has been served. So it's a bit unfortunate.
He lost a lot of pace. He was right up there, but Tom was putting some serious pressure on him. So obviously Tom's just had a bit more of a consistent set of laps so far.
Yeah, for sure. He did set a couple of those faster lap times after Alex went in the pit, so sort of after he was released with on lower fuel and fresh tyres there. So I would have thought that Tom would have been a couple of seconds maybe up the road maximum from Alex after the pit stops, but it looks like something's definitely happened there with Alex's stop. But he's still making his way back through though. He's only half a second behind Nathan Verney here, so he's definitely going to be making his way back into that top three. He'll be chasing Robbie, who's only sort of 15 seconds up the road, or sorry, 16 seconds up the road. Yeah, still about 12 laps to go. So if he shows the pace he was from the first stint before his pit stop, he can still pull back a P3 here.
Oh, that is not looking pretty. That car.
Just been playing his part there and letting Alex go.
There's the pretty car. Look at that. Alex with some hunt back now. He's up into fifth. Bloody hell, mate. Tom doing a beautiful job. Dave Unger has had a very, very consistent race. So he's had some very good racecraft, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, for sure. It's looks like Tom Curry's in the pit lane again as well. So.
Oh no.
We'll have a look and see what's happened to Tom here. Whether he's had to make another pit stop for fuel or if he's made a bit of a crash on the way in. We'll have a look. It looks like he's just come into the pit, so it looks like a few of these guys might have underfueled their car a little bit potentially. Or they've been given penalties for things we haven't seen yet.
Is it because, Stefan, we said just a splash and dash before, and then maybe people just splashed and dashed and then realised that, hang on, it might be a little bit more?
Possibly.
Are we planting seeds in people in racers' brains? I hope not.
Possibly.
Don't listen to us, guys. Just race hard.
Yeah, Tom did say he was struggling with his calculating of fuel and stuff at the last round, so maybe he's just misjudged it a bit, and so did Alex, but Alex just realised a bit earlier, so he's it's reignited this battle again, because now these guys are only separated by half a second, but instead of being for the win, it's currently for P3, so...
Well, this makes it super exciting though now, doesn't it, Stefan?
Oh,
boys,
sure,
this is awesome. Because now it brings Dave Unger, Robbie Griffiths, Tom and Alex, like, man, that's a battle on there. And if these guys get on a train, they will pull away from these guys. Steven Sinkovic was very interesting when it still stuck out for another lap as well. I thought it was very, very interesting. I think he's trying to get a bit of a gap to the guys behind him. So then I'm sure Steven will pit this lap, but I think he's trying to play the long game there. So we'll see if it pays off for him then.
Yes, he's doing well. He is in this lap, as he's mentioned. So, you know, he went longer than anyone else did in the field. So, with that said, it's going to obviously mean less fuel going in the car as well. So, it'll be interesting
and
to see.
He didn't seem like he had many repairs to make either. So, you know.
No, I think he's going to be in a better position. Obviously, he's probably going to come out, I'm going to say, still around 11th behind Greg Johnston. But, he's going to have that fresher tyre and less fuel, so I think he's going to be clawing his way back through that end of the top 10. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could say the name of this one better. This chicane, because it's my favourite chicane in the whole track. I think that chicanery there, just how it comes down, because you have to really trail brake, because you haul it over the hill and you have to really trail brake. It's kind of almost like a third. You like trail brake down to third, get the little bit of rotation, try to cut as much apex as you can, but without getting a track penalty. That'd be cool, guy.
Yeah, for sure. So I just did double check the rule book, just to double check they didn't have to make 2 pit stops. Well, it's definitely only 1 compulsory pit stop in this race, so it looks like a couple of drivers out there have made a slight misjudgment with their fuel loads.
Should we go up from the back of the pack and see how these guys are going and how they've been able to get through things. So Kellen Hodgkinson not had the best night tonight. We've got Kellen Hodgkinson, we've got Nick Martin, we've got Leon Williams, Steven Sinkovic down at the 11th now. He was the last person to pit there. Steven Sinkovic from SRW TV. He's had a great run though, so we'll see how much he sort of slots back into the pace there. We've got the 2 Gregs, Greg Leake and Greg Johnston in 10th and 9th. And then we have Dean Sinkovic in 8th. Along with Nathan Verney down to the 7th after that unfortunate incident earlier. Along with Cowie in 6th with a great battle after he had his damage on his rear wing, so that'll be great to see him, see where he finishes. Scotty Button's got some serious pace though, and in that top 4, they're unbelievable. So, next level, eh?
Yeah, it does look like we're coming up to just 10 minutes to go, so approximately it'll be about 8 laps from where we are now, maybe 7. I can't really see Tom and Alex catching David and Robbie here unless they make mistakes up the front, being 16 seconds behind P2. It's gonna need 2 to 3 seconds a lap. And David's only about half a second to a second a lap slower, so unfortunately,
it's a long time in racing now. It's almost a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. You're not wrong, but it seems like those mistakes have cost them the potential win here. Unless there's
we have seen with these guys in the past as well, especially people like Dave Unger and Robbie Griffiths, are super consistent in race pace and the racecraft. So these guys have been around for a long time. So these boys are pretty good with their racecraft, as we mentioned earlier, eh? Yeah,
for sure. As I say, that's 90% of winning a race is just keeping it clean and smooth and racing your own race. Cowie's having a good run here as well, up to P6. Got Nathan Catch behind him, but Nathan's obviously got that damaged car, so I think Cowie's going to be pulling away from him. And he's sort of in his own little world now, being 12 seconds behind Scotty Barton in front of him, and 4 seconds and pulling away from Nathan. So it's been a good race there from Cowie, up from I believe it was P9 he qualified. So up 3 positions.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree. Like, I'm starting to think now, was he showing off a little bit before with the broken wing, just to go, yeah, I'm that fast, but I'll just keep on driving until you know, everybody else's pits, and then I'll be one of the last to pit, even though I've got a broken wing. Awesome.
You'd have to ask him after the race.
Yeah, big cojones, I think.
It looks like we still got a good battle here between Tom and Alex for P3. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to catch those top two unless something happens. So I think
They've got a 15-second gap there, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. But it seems. Do you think it was Tom and Alex both got better track penalty and stuff? So they both.
Yeah, it
lost
looked like
out
Tom
there a little
definitely
bit.
just had to make another pit stop there. So I think he's starting to fuel his car. I'd say that's very similar with Alex in terms of Tom having to obviously stop and take tyres, fuel again. So I think these two boys might have just underfueled their car, but we'll be able to finalise that a bit later on after the race and confirm for everyone. But Alex all over the back of Tom, going for a lunge down the inside, side by side through turn 1, coming into turn 2. Tom's got the inside line.
On the outside pass, get the inside for the next corner. Come on.
Is Alex going to get the run? No, Tom's cut him off there and kept the line. That's great racing between these two.
He's making that tiny little car very wide.
They come up into the chicane. Is Alex going to make a move here? I think he's going to be better to just sit behind and try and get a run through the chicane. Yeah. That's a lot of curb from Tom there, taking it up on almost no wheels.
I don't know. If I was Alex, I don't know. Maybe I'm not Alex though. I think this is the pressure lap for Alex. I think Alex is putting pressure on. I think it's the pressure lap, showing him his nose, all the rest of it. He's showing Tom his nose at the end of every corner, but he's pulling out before he's actually taking it. This is an intimidation lap. The next lap is where he's going to pounce. Oh, to the commentator. Pressure was on, and the pressure got the best of him. Wowee. Sorry. I always feel so guilty, eh?
I think it happens so often. Yeah, it's just, if we didn't talk, everyone would be having a good race. But it looks like Nathan's here is catching up to Cowie in for P6, so it's hopefully Tom got no damage out of that there, but it looks like he's safe as Nathan's going for the inside run on Andrew. I think he's going to set him up through the chicane if he get crisscross, the same as what Andrew did to Greg earlier in the race. So stay on board here and just see what he does.
I think Vernie needs to break Cowie's wing again, because Cowie's faster with a broken wing, but wasn't it?
Definitely seems that way.
Break his wing, make him faster. Come on, Cowie. Look at that. This is an intimidation lap. He's going straight for it. Nathan Vernie on the hunt for Locked On Racing. He's trying to pounce on Cowie now. Cowie's had an absolutely amazing race. But it seems like Vernie's got a heap more pace than him right now.
Oh, this is ballsy going side by side through there.
So close when they went in. It's basically short side in the track and always touch. Oh. I love this chicane.
There's a couple of good battles out there. Looks like this is definitely the closest on track. As Greg Leake is also in the pits at the moment. Looks like Stevens, that late pit stop, has come back into P10, so he's brought his way back into a top 10 position here. So he'll be happy with that, and Dean's up to P8. So it's good result for everyone so far. Oh, massive tank safe of my Cowie coming out of that final corner.
He got a bit of grass on the outside as well. I think that was he got a bit wide on the exit of that corner and didn't realise how wide he actually was. Oh no! And he's just done the same thing. He's gone real wide on the outside there, and that was very. We've got a comment in the chat there. Clive Palmer. Okay then, that's random. Sweet. Oh,
Just...
Nathan Vernie, unfortunately.
Oh, he bent the rear wing earlier, so now he had to bend the front wings. A bit unfortunately, just hit the sand by the look of it, and he just sort of auto spun him around. But
well, technically, you know, with no front splitter, it'll make him really fast on the straights. But pity there's not many straights here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're up Sheep Creek with better paddle. I suppose that might have been the whole reason behind the whole Cowie thing, and we saw a lot of broken rear wings. Well, we didn't see a lot of broken front splitters, so that might have been the actual saver in a lot of these guys at the rear wing. They might still have enough to get around this track because it is a very twisty kind of track. They might have still had enough pace to get around the track, even with in a slightly broken wing and stuff, because they've still got that front splitter that's going to be able to give them enough downforce, plus the bottom of the car as well, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's these cars can take a little bit of a beating before you sort of. Oh, it looks like who's that? There looks like it's Greg Johnson just locking up into the last chicane there. Looks like Nathan's back in the pit lane again, so he's obviously either got a meatball from that accident or he's chosen to use his fast repair to come in and fix that car. Yeah, it looks like these guys in the last sort of couple of laps here as the race winds down. It looks like David's got a pretty nice comfortable lead over Robbie, and Robbie's got a nice gap over Alex, and then Alex also has a nice gap after Tom after Tom's unfortunate spin. So unless something sort of happens, which it can do, as we've now cursed 3 people during this race, I think that's going to be our finishing order for the top 3.
And it's pretty brilliant. As we actually as we said earlier, we were commenting on that during qualifying. Actually, Stefan was saying Dave and Robbie would be 2 guys to watch, and they have been. It's a pretty awesome battle on right now. And just another just little shout out memorial to Bob Fishy Motorsport. Robbie is definitely doing Boz. Definitely proud right now, and he's having an awesome race. So big shout out for those well wishes for Boz for the memorial a couple of weeks ago and the tribute a couple of weeks ago, and also just another shout out back up to Queensland and everybody in the floods and all our friends and everything in the rest of the world as well. Everyone's doing it pretty tough, so sending you good vibes and love from the SRW TV boys.
Yes, as we start the last lap here, guys, well, probably right on board with David near the front towards the end of the lap, just to see him cross the line as he's coming into turn 3 now. So if he can keep this lap clean, and it's always easy to lose your concentration on this last lap when you've got a bit of a margin. You know, you try and keep it safe, but sometimes the best thing is just to keep driving as fast as you can, so you don't lose your concentration. So as long as he can keep it clean here, he's got this round in the bag, and we'll take out maximum points here after a nice qualifying and a nice clean race.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Stefan, but I don't know, after this many laps in a sim, you're sweating by this point. Your heart is just pounding out of your chest. Like, please don't make a mistake. Please don't make a mistake. Just get there, you know. So I'm sure it's not. You know, he's probably getting a little bit excited by this point of the last lap now, but still his heart must be pounding out of his chest, going, yes, come on, I've come from here. Perfect strategy, beautiful drive.
Yeah, for sure. As he comes across the line and takes P1 for round 3 of the radicals here for SRW TV at Zolder. We've got Robbie Griffiths in P2 with a slightly bent front splitter, and Alex Gordon. Nice recovery drive after those 2 pit stops there into P3. So it's a good recovery from him. We have Tom coming across now with a slightly damaged car after that unfortunate spin there, which has taken him out of the podium position into P4. Scotty Bartram is going to be coming up next for P5 as he comes through these last 2 corners here as he approaches the start-finish line. So it'll be P5, and Andrew Cowan a little bit further back. He's still got 20 odd seconds to go before we'll see Andrew coming up to the line as he comes out of this hairpin. But that's a nice solid drive there by Andrew, coming up from, I believe it was P9 to P6. Nice solid drive and nice bag points there.
Yeah, brilliant drive from him. And it just goes to show, did he lose all those? I reckon 25 seconds of the broken wing. That's probably that. So he could have actually been battling there for the top 5 or even podium positions there with everything that went on in the race if he hadn't had that broken wing. So you could have seen some, Dean Singovich, what a drive! Come on, son. In 7th spot. Greg Johnson in 8th spot. We've got Nathan Verney down to 9th after a couple of unfortunate events there. And Steven Singovich back into the top 10 once again. Come on, son. From SRW TV. So we've got the SRW TV boys both in the top 10 tonight. I love seeing that. Come on, Nathan Verney over the line in 9th. Beautiful drive from him. A couple of unfortunate events, but I am very, very impressed. Come on, Steve-O! What a legend. Oh, sorry. I'll shut up. Let him finish the race, eh?
Yeah, we'll wait for him to finish first.
Yeah.
I think he's got it. Oh, there it is.
Come on, get back on. Oh, you're just showing off, Steve-O. Oh, stop showing off, mate. He's just showing off. Yeah, he meant to do that, eh? He meant to do that, yeah. What a brilliant race, guys. I absolutely love these radicals. I think they're fucking radical. Sorry. Excuse my French, but they're gnarly, dude.
Yeah, so that is your round results up there on the screen for round 3 of the Sim Racing or SRW Radicals, brought to you by DSL Welding Services. Don't forget to go give them a like on Facebook and check their products out as well. And if you'd like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll endeavour to get these top 3 into interviews as well. So keep with us for the next sort of couple of minutes as we try and organise that. And once we got the interviews, that'll be us. So we'll go find them and get them in here for you now.
Oh. Stefan, would you like to take the interview tonight?
Yeah, can do. We'll start with Robbie Griffiths as he's already in the green room awaiting, so we'll bring him in now. Robbie, man, congratulations on P2. Good race.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It was an interesting one, nonetheless. What happened there? I had a bit of a spin early on and put it in the wall myself and had a pit stop, and all of a sudden I ended up back up the front, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. So when you had that damage with your rear wing there a bit early on, did it make the car a bit unstable and harder to drive than they already are?
It wasn't too bad, actually, but I'm not a big fan of these, the tyre model coming out on cold tyres. So I basically thought I'd take whatever opportunity I could early on to take tyres. So I did it on the 8th lap. I knew they'd get the 30 minutes, so it was sort of felt like an opportunity just in case there was damage because you can't see the rear wing. So I just grabbed it and ran with it from there, and that sort of paid off. Luckily, I think Alex got a bit of a penalty there coming out of pits, and Tom got a penalty as well. So it's pretty lucky for me tonight.
Yeah, it's if you watch the broadcast back, you'll definitely see there was a bit of rear wing damage. That was pretty big.
Cool. That was a good call then.
See ya. Well done, man. Another solid result. I think that'll boost you up the standings a bit. So hopefully, 2 rounds left to go. So hopefully it keeps going your way, and we'll see you up on the podium for the rest of it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's been good. Cheers, boys.
All good.
Also be proud, mate. Well done.
Right, give us a minute here or two. We'll try and get Alex in. So I think after that, it did confirm that Alex and Tom might have had a. Alex, how you going there, man?
Hot and sweaty.
Yeah, Zolder's definitely one that works up the muscles a bit.
No, it was good fun.
Did you have a penalty of some sort, or was it 2 pit stops for underfueling?
Unsafe pit stop.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
we went.
on the exit there. I went a little bit too close to the line, and must have just got a wheel over. So yeah,
It's a bit unfortunate, but still podium, so still a good result all round.
Oh, yeah.
You and Tom look like Tom also did the same thing as well. So you and Tom seem to be locked on track the whole time.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Tom got a drive through. I think that's why he had to do a second stop.
Okay.
Which obviously helped me out. So yeah, unfortunate to him. He bloody hell in that first 5-6 laps, he was making me work for it. That's for sure. So credit to him, and yeah, unlucky on the drive-throughs.
Anyone you want to give a shout out before we check you back into your team room?
Yeah, as always, DSL Welding, Racing with Autism Australia, team sponsors, DSL Welding, Corp IT, Dragon RC, Tree Minded, Mod Tint, Racing with Autism Australia, Above and Below Stump Grinding, ABC Transport, and AA Designs. As always, shout out to Gary Bradshaw in New Zealand. And I've been meaning to do this for ages, but I want to give a special shout out to David Leslie from the team. Without him, I wouldn't be racing because I'm currently borrowing his spare wheel. So massive thanks to him for that. Without that, I would have a SimiCube 2 Pro sitting in the box still. So yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, as always, all the boys behind the scenes, you guys in the commentary, do an awesome job. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Hey man, well, best of luck for the remaining couple of rounds, and hopefully see you back in here in the next one.
No worries. Cheers, Stefan. I'll see you on track on Thursday.
Yeah, man. See you then.
All right. Have a good night, boys.
Oh, you too.
Cowie, what a race!
Mate, that was pretty
Mate.
fun, wasn't
Were
Up
you
a
just
few
showing
positions,
off with that
but
broken
battling on
wing, or-
track.
it? I didn't realise that Stephen had gone up inside me into turn 2 there, because crew chief said it was clear, and then of course I moved over, so he said it was clear, and Stephen was there. So I think it was a net code or that race control said. So I didn't get a penalty there. That was good.
That's
Yeah,
right.
man, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it looked like you had a good couple of battles there with Nathan Verney towards the end and Greg Johnston sort of midway through it. So
Yeah, no, they were great fun. I mean, Greg early on, I was sort of faster in a couple of sections and Greg was faster in the others. So I'd work to catch up to him, and then you can't. It's pretty hard to pass through some of those tight sections. But man, those cars around here, it's so easy just to push that tiny bit too hard and you're gone.
yeah, for sure. And we saw that a lot with a lot of different people sort of locking the rears or sort of lifting off through that last chicane to correct the car because they were going to spin.
Yeah, I think I spun on cold tyres on my after the pit stop, I think. So
Yeah, easy to do though. Easy to do.
yeah.
So just a side question, Cowie. With that, we saw that you had the broken wing, but you had slipstream the whole time. Was it a lot easier in the draft, being in the draft with the broken wing, because you could kind of deal with
I
it a
think
bit more, or was it harder because you got dirty air?
The car felt good. It didn't really feel like I was losing anything. So, maybe when I was in the draft, because I wasn't really trying to make a move too much, I was trying to get close. So I'd just make sure I broke in a straight line, and because that's again, I think, the pace the guys were doing up front, Rob and Alex and Dave, they were just crazy. And to get that pace, you're sort of almost throwing the car through the corner. And I don't know, maybe I still think I'm on cold tyres, but sometimes it's just really hard to descend it like they're doing it and keep control.
Especially those guys, just those top 6 were all under 124s, man. Crazy for qualifying. It's insane.
Yeah. I know, I struggle to get out and out pace. I can generally drive the car straight and keep it on the road, but out and out pace. But I love the battles, man. That's what I'm here for. It was great. Had a great battle with Greg early and then Nathan, and he finally got me and then spun out. So, said he
That's
tested
racing,
himself
though, isn't it?
too much. But yeah, that's what happens, I suppose.
Good man. Well, yeah. Well done on your race result, and hopefully you get a few more positions in the next couple and get into the podiums.
Yeah, just needed someone else to get taken out there for a top 5. That would have been good, but the boys could have played ball for me. But nah, geez, it's all right. It was good fun.
All good, man. We'll see you. Next time on track.
No worries, buddy. Thanks, boys.
What's up? Keep safe.
And we'll bring in Dave now as the winner. So well done, Dave. Congratulations on P1 there for that race, man. How was it from your point of view?
Surprising. As in, what the hell am I doing here?
We already knew you had really good race pace and really good racecraft. So we said at the start, Stefan and I were talking about you and Robbie actually at the start of the race, and we're talking about, I think you guys are the two to watch just because your racecraft, you guys sort of are very patient and you kind of just use your racecraft and your patient old heads to get ahead sometimes.
Emphasis on old there.
Old
Basically
head.
67.
Wow, you're pretty quick, mate.
Thank you.
Maybe you missed your calling.
No, I don't. There's plenty of other guys out there that are quicker than me.
Brilliant
good.
race, mate.
Well, they help you a bit there in the team and the standings. So hopefully, 2 rounds left to go. So hopefully, we'll see you back in here for those 2 rounds, whether it be first, second, or third.
Most definitely.
Any sponsors or shout outs you want to say before we chuck you back in the green room?
No.
Sweet as, man.
Yeah.
Oh, best of luck for the remaining rounds.
Thanks, guys.
Much love, Dave. Awesome drive, bro.
So I'll leave it for you to sign us out here, Toddy.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for coming again for our coverage of the Radical SR8s this round tonight, round 3 at Zolder tonight. Absolutely amazing racing in these little, absolutely mental little cars. Please come back and see us. We do every fortnight. We do the Radicals every Tuesday night. So we do alternating with the F3s. And we've got a lot of other races. We've got the V8s on Sundays. We've got, look us up. Make sure you hit your bell, hit your subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you love us, you like us. Send us all your love, send us all your good vibes. And before we wrap up, guys, just sending once again all our love and a big shout out to everybody and all our friends, all our family, all our members, all our lovely families everywhere throughout Queensland and throughout flood affected areas and everybody else over the world as well. Everybody keep safe. Much love to everybody. I'll hand over to Stefan before we go and shout out to the boys, Nathan Shibby and Stefan McCartan. Absolute legends.
Yeah, thanks again all for joining us tonight for round 3 of the SRW V8 Radicals. We'll be back on again Thursday night for the Porsche Cup GT3 round 5 from the same track in Zolder. Other than that, go check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Give us a like, a subscribe. Don't forget to tick that notification bell as well to see get every time we go live. And thanks again to our sponsor, DSL Welding, who's proudly sponsoring SRW this season and brings you all the action replays. And obviously, we couldn't do it without them. So thank you, and we'll see you all on Thursday night.
And Dragon RC too. Much love, legends.